Hi Pisces, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm doing a 2017 overview reading. I gotta take this bracelet off because it's clanking on the table and driving me crazy. So I already shuffled so to save time and so I didn't feel rushed. And let's just jump into the reading. So this upper row here with the Barbara Moore's Steampunk Tarot is for career, and right off the bat you got this magician card. I love these cards. Isn't he look badass? He's just like, yeah, I'm the shit. So this card is about manifesting, making things happen. It's interesting. It's interesting he's holding the sword, and I don't know why that caught my eye. I don't usually think of him. He's got the cup and the sword, and usually he has all the elements, but it's interesting. He's holding the cup and the sword. The wand is at his feet, and I guess the pentacle is the clasp on his jacket. Getting clear on what you want to manifest. What do you want your career to be? What do you want your work to be? So this is really going to be a year about really getting clear on what you want. What do you really, instead of just complaining for those of you that aren't happy in your career or that it isn't what you want to be, really figuring out what exactly you want so that you can manifest it. If we want a new career, I want something new, I want something new, I want something new. But if you don't know what exactly the new thing is, I mean, it's one thing if you're like, I want to be a doctor, I'm going to medical school. Well, there you go. You know, you can manifest that. But if, and this is so me actually, I don't really have Pisces, I don't think in my chart at all, but I'm like, I want something else. I want something else. Well, what do you want? Well, it's like a sort of no on one hand, but I don't know. That's the problem. You can't have this wishy-washy feeling. You need to know exactly what it is, and so that's going to be your job this year is to really narrowing that down and getting very clear. And I definitely think you're going to do it because look at this sword. This sword is just it cuts away all the clutter and the extraneous things that distract you from really figuring it out. So you're going to get very crystal clear on what you want from your career, what you want out of career. Go see a life coach, a career counselor, a headhunter, and really use the sword energy, the analytical energy, the making a list, really quantifying the facts, the data, like what are you good at? What skills do you have? What do you want to do? What interests you? What doesn't? What are your skills? And figure it out. Really get it down so that because this guy can and once you figure that out, this card tells you you have the ability to manifest whatever you want, but you got to get clear about what you want. And wow, and then you have the Eight of Swords. I mean the Eight of Wands, sorry. This is once you set these things in motion, things are going to happen. Things are going to start to happen. Opportunities are going to come in. Messages, communication, you're going to become more attractive once you figure out and you have a goal that you're working towards. It could bring about love, it can bring about collaborations, all sorts of things. But you're going to figure out what you're passionate about. Because under the deck you have this Nine of Swords, so it's like you have that anxiety. It's like Sunday night you're dreading going to work or before your shift you're just like, "Oh, I can't do this. I want to do this. I don't want to have a meaningless job where I just show it's snowing out. Nice. Um where I'm just showing up and getting a paycheck. It's like I don't want that. It just causes anxiety in my brain. It's like it's just not healthy. And so that's going to change. You're going to get clear about what you do want instead of just complaining and being in a job that you don't want. You may have to change, if you're in a good career, but it's not the best situation. How can I start my own business? Find a new company? Do I want a promotion? Do I want whatever it is you get clear on, you're going to manifest. I want to make more money. I want to, you know, you may want to actually physically create something, do something, be more creative in your job, start your own business, go your own way. It's so funny. This keeps coming up, but just the fact that he's holding this cup in it, maybe it's just because this deck has a lot of cups in it. I mean, every deck has cups, but it's more like alcohol for some reason comes up. So I think that there are some people out there that are like thinking of starting a winery, a vineyard, making wine, a brewery, a coffee shop, something where people socialize. It's just keeps coming up, hopping into my brain. So I'm gonna just put it out there for you guys. Okay, so your romance and relationship category is very interesting. At the bottom of the deck, we have the lovers. So, um, if you guys have not are single, you definitely, I think, are going to be meeting someone that you're going to have a romantic relationship with. That's going to be fairly passionate, actually, definitely. Um, but there is definitely the other part of this card, like the spiritual side of this card, is that there's a choice to be made. Um, I like to use the example, if you get married, sure, it's easy to stand up there at the wedding and say, I do. Yep, I do. I choose you. But the real test of a marriage is every choice you make every day for the rest of your life. Are you honoring that commitment or not? And it can be any commitment, your health, your fitness, your health routine, your job, your relationships, your whatever. Are you choosing that? Are you choosing something else? Do you choose to go home to your significant other, or do you go out with your friends more often than not? Do you flirt with this person, or do you work on making your partner feel desirable? Things like that. And so I'm bringing that up because for some of you, it's like you're having trouble. You feel stuck. You're having trouble making a decision. And we have these two kings on either side. And these could be male or female. In this general reading, we don't get hung up on those. But so this fire sign, this King of Wands, he's very passionate and motivating, and I mean, this would be a very passionate, steamy relationship. But then you have this guy over here, and he's much calmer. He moves much slower, but he'll make you feel very secure and stable, and he's very dependable. Sometimes this, guys, if you watch my channel, I love this King of Wands energy, but he can when things maybe start getting too emotional, that water can sort of extinguish his passion, and he may move on to the next thing a little easier. This guy is more stable and gonna stick around, but he's not as exciting as this guy. So it's kind of like this year you're trying to figure out, maybe you're single. For those of you who are single and you're trying to figure out what exactly you want, so you're kind of hanging around not doing anything. For some of you that are married, you may meet someone that's maybe you're married. I mean, you can go either way. You're married to this dependable guy, and there's not a whole lot going on, and you meet this guy. But remember, again, this guy his passion can fade out, but maybe you're realizing you went with someone who had money, but you want someone that's more exciting, that has a zest for life. So you're weighing all sorts of those things. For some of you that left someone for someone else, you may be realizing that was a mistake. You're waiting. Maybe you feel like you're waiting for someone else to make a decision. Don't wait for someone else to make a decision. Don't wait around for someone else. I'm sorry, this is something I feel very passionate about. If someone can't decide if they want you, to hell with them. Move on. Being alone, you don't wait around for someone. Um, you are the timing's everything. If the timing's not right, it's not right. Don't wait around for them because there's no guarantees. You just that's just don't please don't do that. So it's interesting. There may be some challenges to your commitments. You may be tempted. Um, I don't think it's going to be a boring year for you guys where your love life is concerned. Let's put it that way. I think there are going to be maybe too many options, and you're maybe a little tested, but sometimes those tests can really make you appreciate what you do have and make your relationship even stronger in the long run. So just be mindful of that and just consider, okay, how would I deal with this type of situation if it did come along, and then you can be prepared if it does. But it's going to cause you to really think about if you're honoring your commitments, if your significant other is honoring their commitments, um, and what's truly important to you in a relationship. So these cards at the bottom here are overall spiritual cards. So here's that sword energy again, really being analytical, really being using your head to make decisions this year. And being a water sign, it's going to be a change for you. It's going to be good for you because you're not going to compromise. It's like you're not going to stay with someone because you feel sorry for them or you feel this or that. It's you're going to take that out of your vocabulary. There are literally no cups cards actually in your reading. So you're going to be driven by your thoughts. It's like, I'm done. I'm not compromising anymore. I'm not being led by my heart and feeling for someone and feeling bad for someone and this and blah. No, you're not going to be codependent. You're not going to do anything. You're going to be thoughtful and driven. And that's what the Chariot is. You're like, this is where I want to go in my life. I'm not waiting around for anyone else. I'm going to make my own career happen, whatever I want. I'm going to figure out what I want and I'm going to go after it. So you're very focused and driven this year and on task and making things happen. It's like this energy is very determined. You're just getting very clear and very determined, and you are taking action. You're not just reacting to things happening. You know where you're going, and you're making it happen. You may be moving. You're just manifesting. This magician energy is just really strong, and it's reading down these are the cards under the deck. It's like you've had anxiety about things, and then you're like, what are my priorities? What do I want to, where do I want to spend my time and energy? What are my commitments? And you've really gone within and thought about that and done the inner work and the hard work and figured out what's important to you, where you want to go, what you want to do, and done the inner work so that you're very clearly know where you're going. Once you know what you want on the inside, then you can figure out where you're going on the outside. So really a really decisive year for you, making some really clear-cut decisions, really getting your head out of any of this type of energy. No more worrying and anxiety. I mean, it's just things are happening. There's a lot of movement. It's a little stagnant in the relationship area. There are some big choices to be made for some of you, but you are going to make them. Make these decisions. You're going to not compromise on things that you don't feel that are deal breakers. and just move on. It's really impressive. Like, go, you go, Pisces. You're like